Podcast. This is Dr. B. I'm back again with some very special guests from the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. I'm here in Southern California, again, live on YouTube right now, but this is going to be uploaded all over all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, you name it. You can find this episode just about anywhere. And again, I'm sitting down with some heavy hitters from the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. You guys are up in NorCal right now. I'm in Southern California, and I just want to welcome all three of you to the show. Obviously, it's an honor to be able to talk to members of the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. I did a podcast with your organization almost 3 years ago now, which is kind of crazy. And that episode has been listened to by thousands of people. Thousands of people have listened to that episode. People have reached out to me in regards to it, pretty much all over the world. And so I was really, really excited to be able to do that first podcast. But I didn't really understand at the time just how intriguing the motorcycle club world culture is to outsiders, right? So that is one of the best podcasts I've released in terms of sheer numbers. So the numbers are really good. So just so not to make you guys nervous or anything like that, but yeah, people are really interested in motorcycle club culture. But the Pacific Savages are very, very unique, very different. It's a culture-based club. So I want to give you all the opportunity to explain to people who are listening to this, what are the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club all about? Well, before we do that, let's just go ahead and all three of you can introduce yourselves real quick.
My name's Blind.
I'm Kamaka.
I'm Jack.
All right. So all three of you are both leaders in the organization, right? You guys have been a part of Pacific Savages for quite a while. You know a lot of history. Again, what can you tell us about the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club?
So the club, we're Pacific Savages. So we are all based out of Pacific. So whether it's Guam, Hawaii, Samoa, Tonga, Japan, pretty much all the Pacific. That's who we are, and that's what our club is based off, and that's what our culture is based off. So we're very deep in the culture, and everyone embraces it, and then we try to put that out to the community, whether it's motorcycle community or our local communities also.
Kamaka, Kamaka, you're one of the original founders of the club. So can you kind of take us back to the beginning of the Pacific Savages, and from your perspective, why did you guys start this organization?
So obviously we all had a passion for riding in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And more that we started riding in a group of friends, we noticed that there were a lot of Pacific Islanders that were, and I'll use the word, and I use it loosely, lost, because they were joining all these different entities, because I always feel that it's human nature to want to belong to something, whether it's a book club, a church, whatever that person's beliefs are. So everybody has a desire to belong to something. So with us seeing that all these Pacific Islanders were joining all these other clubs, and we didn't really have something for our own people to go to culturally, we thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and start something for ourselves, something for our people to gravitate to, and that's really, really the base of why we wanted to start this Pacific Savage.
Yeah. So the motorcycle club culture, at least going, back to its origins, and there's a lot of history. Obviously, we don't have time to cover that, but there really wasn't a lane for islanders, right, within the motorcycle club culture. And the Pacific Savages have been a big part of creating this lane for indigenous bikers, for islanders who have a passion for two wheels. Is that correct?
That's very accurate. So That's real accurate. So in the beginning, we weren't even thinking about our own lane. We were just thinking about something that our people can belong to, right? So once it started, and then there's a lot of politics in the MC world.
Absolutely.
So it came to creating our own lane, and sharing the road with all the existing clubs, and we never started this club to be the big dog or to be top dog or however you want to look at it. We started this club for our people, and that's where we are. With that said, we attracted a lot of different cultures, because when you grow up with a culture, whether you know it or not.
That's
That's
right.
how you're
Absolutely.
raised. So that's how we act, when we're out. The old saying, give aloha, get aloha. That's no different from you respect me, I'll respect you back.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. So again, going back, us growing as fast as we did because of the attraction of the basis or the roots on why we started. We flourished really fast. We grew real quick. And because of our numbers, we were kind of looked at as, well, who are these guys? So we were no longer kind of part of any one crew. We never were in the beginning, but we always used to ride, amongst or ride with all these other folks. We didn't, there was no boundaries. Once our numbers started getting big, I think that's about when the boundaries started to appear, and forced us into creating our own lane.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, anybody who's been a part of the MC culture knows there is a lot of politics. Absolutely. And for the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club to grow as quickly as you did, obviously you guys are doing something right. But with that, there's consequences, right? There's more eyes on you. There's other organizations who may not like the fact that, the organization is growing as fast as it is and the organization is doing the things that they're doing. Can you speak to how other clubs were looking at the Pacific Savages, and how difficult has it been to get to the point now where I think pretty much everybody on the West Coast knows the Pacific Savages are here, they're here to stay, and they're pretty much going to do their own thing. So how did that happen? That process, can you kind of walk us through it?
It's
Well,
yeah.
I would say within the culture that we have as a Pacific Savage, all right, we've always strived to take a good man and make him better. Okay, provide. In some instances, some people are lost with their own culture, but give them purpose, motivation, and direction. Okay, and a good sense of belonging. All right, and a good saying is, hey, it's not a question if you're going to eat the fried rice, but what are you going to bring it to the table to make the fried rice taste a whole lot better?
I like that.
And
Yeah.
we continue to deal with other entities and in the motorcycle community, because we always will have to, because we're a motorcycle club, and we just pave our own way, and we've started from the beginning. We're just continuing to do the same thing. We do our own thing. We are our own people, and we stick within our own. So we just kind of maintain that and keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Go ahead, Kamaka.
so one of the main things that we're faced with every day, is, and it's because of our sheer numbers now, and the areas that we're in. Based off of size, organization, and just growth, overall growth, we're looked at in a different way from a lot of different sides. I won't name any names, but one is always worried about us going to the other side, or us going to this side. Back in the day, we sat in a lot of garages from the people that actually helped us start. And we told them, I said, we'll always be in the middle. So the analogy that I like to use is we're in the bleachers and we're watching a tennis match. You guys do what you guys are going to do. We, 17 years later, are still the same people who we said that we were from day one, sitting in those garages having these conversations about starting the Pacific Savage.
Yeah.
You know,
That's very powerful
I
to think about.
Yeah, I just wish that one of these days, the light comes on, and they see that we're not bad people. The problem is that we wear a patch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a long haul. It's a lot of work to get to where you guys are at, but I think Kamaka, you hit on a really important point. You had an idea, a vision that you wanted for the organization, and you've obviously have stuck to that, right?
our tone has not changed from day one.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part, I think, of the success, obviously. And, being in the MC community, there's always going to be politics. EC Blind, brought that up. It's a really good point. Events like the PSR that's coming up on June 17th in SoCal, obviously are a chance for us as indigenous peoples, as islanders, to be able to showcase the culture. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Pacific Savages and their participation in the PSR.
Yeah, one of the cool things about the PSR is we get to reach out to all these other MCs. Politics aside, all the other island clubs, we reach out to them and try to have a combined event where everyone can come together and do something to showcase who we are and to let the community know that we're here and to show others in the community what we're about. And so it's great. It's a great opportunity to see a whole bunch of clubs and a bunch of islanders get together in one place at one time.
Absolutely.
So, Bernard, I'll add to that. So not too far ago, politics, as you know, are very heavy within the MC world, and those politics forced us to kind of close our shell a little bit and kind of stick to our own, if you will. Now, this is also a great way to have this PSR is a great way to reach back out to our communities, not only those on Two Wheels, but my uncles, my aunties, my nephews, nieces, and everybody from the Pacific, or everybody with Pacific in their pool vibe, they're aloha. So it's our way of reaching back out to our community, to letting our community know that we're here, for all of us. It's not just the enjoyment of riding on two wheels. It's about supporting and embracing your culture.
Yeah, that's such a good point, and I think that's what separates maybe the Islander biker set from other MCs is that we really do push the culture, being a part of the community. I would never say that any other MC isn't about the family, but bringing our families to these events and sharing our culture with each other, and eating some of the best food you could possibly eat, right? Enjoying yourself with others who are like-minded. I mean, this kind of separates us from others, I think. And the PSR, it's not just a motorcycle club event, right? This is a community event. And I know Tack loves his fried rice. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of good fried rice at this event. There's just going to be incredible vendors. There's going to be an area for the kids. We're going to have a bike blessing, kava ceremony. I mean, this event really is multifaceted, and it's a chance for us to kind of showcase the best of our cultures, not just for us on Two Wheels, but who we are as indigenous people, who you all are as islanders. And families can come out. You don't have to ride a motorcycle to come out and enjoy these events, right?
Brings up a good point. We are now reaching out. Okay, we have the Island Savages Car Club. Okay.
Born date today.
Born date today. All right.
Love
And
it.
that we do have 4 wheels included into the empire. And it's low riders, it's trucks, Euros, imports, you know, and so forth. It's a great opportunity for everyone that doesn't have motorcycles, but is within the car club community, to come out and join us and participate. You don't have to join; just come on out there, meet us, and have a good time doing it.
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, obviously the Pacific Savages MC, there's other components to this, right? I mean, we're not talking about just, brothers on two wheels. There's a lot of um, events that you all put together that include not just people who are interested in motorcycles, but include a wide array of people within our community. And I think that's what's really interesting about the PSR is that yes, you have motorcycle clubs coming together, putting this event on, but it's not just a motorcycle club event. This is really a community event. This is a chance for us to, showcase our best vendors, to showcase our culture with live performances. Again, family friendly. There's going to be a kava ceremony, a bike blessing, live music. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and I think that's what's really powerful about this movement. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I want to reiterate is that this is a vision from Indigenous Brothers on Two Wheels to be able to have an event like this, to be able to showcase something that's unique to our cultures. So if you had to explain to somebody who was just kind of unfamiliar with what Islanders do and how we like to have a good time, let's just start with TAC. Can you explain TAC to just the average person? Like, why should they just come out and just enjoy this event with us?
Well, one, everyone has a good time.
Yes.
2, it's a source for networking. Okay, we have real professionals, whether they're in the medical field all the way up to the fire department within our rank and file. If anything, take a high school kid that's just looking for something to get into, something to just talk to. It could be anything mechanical, it could be military, it could be just anything. There's someone within the Savages. We have quite a few welders, okay, and they've actually helped young men and women, okay, get into that career field, having nothing to do with joining the MC. They just come out to support. The big thing about the culture, all right, is helping one another, okay, paying your respects to your elders and appreciating all the hard effort that they put together so we can enjoy the moment that we have in the sun at that particular moment in time.
Yeah, perfectly said. Kamako, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people have the perception that a motorcycle club is throwing an event, that it's all motorcycle club based type events at that event. Not true at all. Especially with ours. You got good food, you got entertainment, you got good company. Everybody from the community. So again, like Tack said, it's a great place to network, especially if you're a small business owner or you just a Pacific Islander or not that just wants to come out and enjoy a good time, good food, good entertainment. It's a positive vibe.
Great people,
Always a good vibe.
great people with great conversation.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point. It's not just for Islanders, it's not just for Indigenous peoples, it's for everybody, right? So it's a chance for you. Let's just say you're living in the SoCal area and you've always wanted to learn a little bit more about the Pacific Islander culture, a little bit more about Indigenous peoples. This is a good chance for that.
Yep. It's a good way for people to come in and see us in pretty much our own environment. So when you go to any of our events, you're gonna see wise kids, little kids running around. That's just how we always are. That's how our culture is. We're always deep into our families, and you'll always see that reflected in our community. and at most of our events, especially this PSR one. It is a family event. You're going to see, like you said, not only just motorcycles, but there'll be some cars there as well. And it's just an event for everyone, whether you're Islander, Howley, black, white, whatever, it doesn't matter, Mexican. Anyone can come and enjoy themselves and see what we're all about. You're going to get some good entertainment, like you said, good vibes, and as always, good food.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first event that we put together a year ago was a major success, right, in SoCal, and then we had another one up in Northern California, which is a major success as well. So obviously, we're building, momentum here. We want to continue to do this. And would you agree that the point of the PSR, again, Pacific Sovereignty Run, is to be able to not just showcase our culture and obviously our good food, our good fried rice, right? The company that we like to keep, but also this idea of being independent and being free to do the things that we do that are reflective of who we are. That term sovereignty is very important. So maybe you can touch upon what does that mean exactly? What does the Pacific Sovereignty Run mean? That word sovereignty, I want you guys to kind of touch on that.
I'll go ahead and start. You guys can add to it. So again, Kamaka, e Hawaii, I am Hawaiian. My land has been taken over and overrun. And it's too late to come back to change it back now. Although we have all of this, different events and protests on the current government, the way we're being ran, and we'll never overturn it back to the island. So all we can do is just sovereignty, sovereignty movement, sovereignty this, and just keep, and that's basically just to keep that culture alive, because it's too far gone to revert back now. And that's so the Pacific Sovereignty Run. Me personally, that speaks deep to me because of my lineage and the history, of losing our land. I personally have family that used to own land that was taken away from them, which is now called Waikiki. So that means a lot to me. So sovereignty, not only the sufferings of the Hawaiian people, but the sufferings of all Pacific Islanders. And if you're not Pacific Islander, even if you can just relate to sovereignty wherever you're from, because we're a big melting pot, right?
That's right.
Infuse that word sovereignty somewhere within your lives, no matter where you're from, and let it mean something to you, and then come out and have a good time. That's really
yeah. I mean, I think this idea of, we can't go back in time, right, in reverse, all the wrongs that have been done. But what we can do is move forward in a good way, and to be able to do the things that we do, and share our culture, not just with each other, right, as Pacific Islanders and Indigenous peoples, but share our culture with other people, and be able to pass that on to our children in a good way. I mean, there was a time, Kamaka, that I know that when our cultures were being suppressed, right, and we were being told you can't speak the language, you can't practice your way of life, and there was this massive effort to negate who we were as Indigenous peoples, whether you're Pacific Islanders, whether you were Filipino, or whether or not you were Native American. And now we're living in a different time, and we get to practice our ways openly, and we get to do the things that we enjoy. For us, it's being on two wheels, right? But not just being on two wheels, it's being on two wheels and enjoying our fried rice, like a lot of us enjoy, and the food that we eat, whether it's fry bread or what have you. And so that's, I think, what's really special about the time that we're living in is that we're able to do the things that our ancestors were told that they couldn't do, right? And yes, you can't go back and reverse all the wrongs that were done, but what we can do is move forward and practice our culture, be who we are in the best possible way, and raise our kids to grow up to be proud of who we are. And I think that's a big part of what I see in the Pacific Savages and events like the Pacific Sovereignty Run. It's just a chance for us to be able to be who we are and say, this is who we are. We're not going to hide it any longer, right? And who we are has value. our cultures have value. And like you said, it's not about just being Hawaiian. We have Hawaiians, we have Chamorros, obviously Native Americans, Filipinos. I mean, the Pacific Savages and these other organizations involved in this come from a lot of different backgrounds, and it really does make events like this very, very unique. Um, obviously, I feel like the Pacific Savages is one of the better organizations out there that showcases the best of our cultures. But I know that there's other motorcycle clubs involved in this. What can you say to the other groups that are involved, like their participation and why it's important that this isn't just Pacific Savage oriented, that it's also important to involve others as well?
Just like you were saying, it's not just a Pacific Savage event, it's a community event. So it's good to see other island organizations come together. So that way we can, like you were saying, preserve our cultures and then promote the growth of them also. So the fact that they're able to come into this event and as a collective, everyone try and throw it for the community. It's a really good thing to see, especially when you have a bunch of different organizations. We all got our own lives to live, and we all got busy schedules. So for us to take time out of our busy schedules to make this event work, it's a really good thing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It shows a lot of unity, putting aside differences, right? And something I've learned in talking to some of these other clubs is that we all have our place, right? And I'm very proud to be a part of this organization, but I see that all these other groups out there that they have maybe a slightly different mission than our own, but we all have a place in this lane that we're trying to create for indigenous and islander bikers.
The fourth element. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
It's also,
yeah, go ahead,
oh,
Kamal.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Tack mentioned the car club. So obviously we started out Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club, reaching out to our community. And when you reach out and you communicate, your community grows. So that's how the car club came about. Also, on the other side, now we call it one club, two patch. Actually, it's going to be three now.
Yeah.
Because we are allowing another club or another entity of the more on the native side now, or reaching out to that side very strongly, is the Savages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There we go. Oh man.
There it is.
So
Bam!
EC Blind is holding up the patch for the Savages Motorcycle Club. And EC Blind, can you kind of explain? You had mentioned it, two patches, one club. Can you kind of maybe give us a little more detail there, if that's okay?
So we are establishing this other club, the Savages, and it's basically we're all trying to share the same lane. As the Pacific Savages, we gear mostly towards Pacific Islanders, whereas the Savages, it opens it up for more of the native community. Because we all have similar backgrounds, like you were saying earlier, whether you're Hawaiian, Chamorro, Filipino, whatever, our people at one time were oppressed by another country or whatever, but we are all oppressed and we're all trying to just move forward and like I said before, preserve our culture and try and promote the growth of it. And so starting up the Savages is another way to do that. Our brothers that are natives establish another club, as well as share the lane that we've kind of paved as well.
So again,
Yeah. This is a long haul. I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Kamaka.
yeah. So just to add to that a little bit as well. So a lot of the cultural events that we have, because I also come from the hula background and music and dance, and we have always, no matter what we did, we've always recognized and honored the First Nation. And the reason why I say that is because we were voyagers, and so was a lot of other nations, countries, but when you land here in California or somewhere in what is now called the U.S., you were hosted by what we all refer to as the First Nation, and that was your Native Americans, no matter where you landed at. Some shoreline in Georgia, some shoreline in California, those were the natives, you know, and so we pay a lot of respect to those guys. We always have, and this is another way of reaching out and identifying the First Nation as part of our community, you know, and welcoming this community aboard and to share our lane with us and share our cultures. Because Bernard, you and I spoke in Central Cal. A lot of our cultures, Native American and Pacific Islands, specifically Hawaiian for me, are very, very similar.
That's
Very,
right.
you know, we may pray a different way, we may dance a different way, we speak a different way, but the beliefs are the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's perfectly said. And obviously I'm really excited because when I came on board with the Pacific Savages, I I'm not an islander, right? I come from a native background to North America, and but I saw so many similarities in terms of the way that we did things, and I just felt like, yeah, the culture is different, but the value system, right? Community, family, brotherhood, fellowship, and wanting to do something for our communities, that really stood out to me about the organization, the Pacific Savages, and the fact that now we have a car club. So if you're into to cars or trucks, that you can be a part of this organization that we've grown. And now also indigenous people from North America, Turtle Island, have an opportunity now to share this lane with us. And that's very, very powerful. Super powerful.
Exactly. Just come out, celebrate our cultures,
Yeah. Our
right?
cultures.
That's it. Just celebrate that. Educate yourself about it. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy the fried bread and the fried rice. Let's go have a great
Oh,
day.
we're adding bread to the menu.
There we are.
Hey, so I heard at, I don't want to get away from the PSR, but I was told by Aloni, and if you're familiar with the Pacific Savages, Aloni is the first Native American in the club. He was telling me that, I guess, at the event, is it the Backyard Boogie, July 1st, they're going to have a fry bread booth. So,
there you go.
Nice.
so we're going to have fried rice and fry bread.
There it is.
So he was bragging about that to me the other day. But EC Blind, do you have the patch? Is it possible for you to show the patch again with the Pacific Savages patch? Is it possible to hold that up here so we can kind of see them close together? And if you're listening to this, oh man, that looks really, really good. Wow. Those patches together are going to look amazing. This is really exciting stuff. Again, this is the Savages MC. We're going to have the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club, which is 17 years strong. Now the Savages are coming on board with the Empire, and we also have the Island Savages Car Club. So 3 different entities, all under the same umbrella. This is pretty incredible. A lot of hard work, obviously, gentlemen. Those 2 patches look outstanding together. They really, really do. Wow. All I can say is wow. This is good stuff. But you all know there's a lot of hard work that goes into this, and this life, the MC world's really not for everybody. So I want to know what keeps you all going. Kamaka, you've been here from the beginning. I have a picture of you, and it's in the original OGs. Like, what keeps you all going and keeps you motivated to kind of stay the course? I know every club has its ups and downs. Members come and go, but what keeps you all going?
For me personally, I'm still trying to, and maybe it'll never close, but when you're part of the original group that has the vision that started it all, I guess I'm kind of looking for closure and for it to be complete. But with all the new entities, the new faces, the new cultures that are continuously inbound into the program, I don't think it'll ever be complete. And I don't think, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever want it to be complete, because it's a moving education. It's a moving
It's evolving.
involvement, and I just really enjoy seeing everybody having a good time and belonging to something, going back to what I said earlier, because it's human nature to want to belong to something. And when I see people strongly believe in what the original thought of was, for us to open this, that in itself is inspiring. Although despite all the headaches and everything else that certain individuals bring with it, but
There's
that's
definitely a
how,
lot of headaches.
yeah,
Yes.
that's the nature of the beast, right? But no, that's what keeps me going, Bernard, is just keeping us moving and seeing that we're moving forward in a positive motion. To the community, ambassadors to the community, empowerment, and just the sheer brotherhood that we share.
Yeah.
I don't that we can actually, if I went and grabbed any one of these guys here, I don't think I would. I don't think I would be able to say that I don't trust any one of these guys.
Yeah. Such a good point.
That
Mm-hmm.
has a lot.
Yeah. EC Blind, something you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I love this organization. I've been a part of it for a long time now. It's what's crazy. Tak and I, we were stationed together in Korea like 19 years ago, and the Savages, we met. I hadn't talked to him in like 7 years, and then just happened to go to my first
Incredible.
deploy and see him ride up on a motorcycle, and yeah, it's crazy, and it's brought us back together. But yeah, I love the organization. I love being a Sav. I love riding. That's one of my favorite things. I love riding, and I get to do both in one. So yeah, it's a fun life to live.
I just like
fried rice.
Military background and retiring out of it, going into the Savages was something that the Savages didn't need me. I needed them, and it was a perfect transition for me. I was able to be Tak, not what my former life was, but just be Tak. And then watching our members grow from the poi process all the way up to full patch is a beautiful thing. Not only do you help them individually, but the tribe collectively, right? And watching these guys make honest mistakes, picking them up, dusting them off, telling them, hey, this is how you do it. Don't let this happen again. And watch them become an asset instead of a liability. It's a beautiful thing, taking a good man and helping them try to become a better part of himself. That's what I really enjoy about it.
That's such a good point. I mean, obviously the brotherhood and the fellowship it's pretty incredible in the club. But, something that I see and I like about our organization is the fact that, we're building leaders as well, right? We're helping build leaders, better community members. And, I know that's a big part of the work that you do in the club, Tak. I mean, really all of you, that's a big part of your guys' work is building leaders. And I feel the Pacific Savages, MC, what's really impressive about it, I know I'm a member of the club obviously now, but even when I look back at is the leadership. You guys have very, very strong leaders, and there's a push to build up individuals so that they can too lead as well. And you see that in the way that we operate. Obviously, we want to share too much about the way that we go about our business. Some of that is for us. It's not for outsiders, but I do know that there's a lot of time and a lot of effort goes into training people and making sure that people are on point. And I know, Tak, that you share a lot of responsibility in that. And the way that you do it, I really do appreciate it because I feel like kind of going back to things that we were talking about earlier with, how our cultures have been oppressed. I think one of the things that we always had as indigenous peoples, whether it's islanders or Native Americans, is we kind of had these rites of passages, right? That we becoming a man and becoming a better person. And we kind of lost that over the years. And I think that the Pacific Savages has kind of brought that back for young men to be able to join an organization that they can be proud of, where they can practice their culture, but more importantly, just become better fucking human beings, right? And that's what we need in our community: stronger men. Yeah, better human beings and stronger men. And I feel like that's what the Pacific Savage MC builds in this organization, is a better man. A better man is going to make for a better community, a better husband, a better father. Would you all agree?
I definitely
100%.
100%, 177%.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
There you go, man.
So before we get out of here, I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, but I would love to hear a story, maybe a lesser known story that hasn't really been put out there about the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. It could be a ride that you went on, just a great memory that you have about the club, something that you did, or just something that just always sticks with you.
I have a real good one, good example. All right. Chief Dave went back when we were with the Rongo tribe at the time, San Francisco. We had a pule out there, and there was Chief Pue was out there, was one of our guests, and had our meeting and went to go eat. Well, a bus showed up at the restaurant we were at, okay, and there were a lot of these old folks. They were getting ready to go to Reno, okay. Bus broke down. It was raining sideways. We seen all these people come in, and we immediately noticed they were elder Asians. So we went out there, opened up the doors, and helped them come on inside and so forth. And one of the elderly ladies says that, "Oh, my son is in there. He's got the broom, you know, the broom." And we were laughing, and then come to find out it was Ina's mom. It was Ina's mom. But the whole thing about it was that they felt comfortable with us. They recognized that patch, and they felt comfortable and at ease. And we stayed with them, made sure that we're taken care of. We also made sure that they were enjoying themselves up until the next bus came and picked them up. You know, giving back to the community, helping our elders as we were taught as children, but to share collectively with each other and making something happen for those elders. That's probably one of the most memorable things that I really, really hold on to Pacific Savage.
And that story is like a great representation of our club, right? It's a great representation of who we are as Savages. So Kamaka, what do you got for us? A story, something that you remember that stands out to you?
So 2014, we're on the Big Island. I'm dancing Mary Monarch, which is the Super Bowl of all hula competitions. And I was probably the old man in the crew in 2014 even. But the event, just like most local events here, the security is ran by the local motorcycle clubs. And at that particular year, 2014, there was 6 Pacific Savages and 1 Island Thunder that was from the Bay Area, from California, that was performing in this competition for the Academy of Hawaiian Arts in Oakland, or from Oakland. So all the other clubs, they knew who we were. I don't know how, but they knew who we were, and they approached me and they asked if they can talk. I told them that we wouldn't be able to have this dialogue until after we were done concentrating and performing. So as soon as we were done, our costumes came off, our tokos went on, and we had what we call meeting pule. And it, to me, coming from the mainland, speaking to those on the island, and telling them how we started and what our beliefs were in the mainland, these guys couldn't believe it because they didn't have that belief in their own club in the islands. You know, so it was good. It was I don't know, exciting to see that I opened up some eyes of some local clubs, you know, for the same, you know, because really we're struggling for identity. They're living it, but they don't realize it. We're fighting for it to establish it here in the mainland. you know, and then for me to do the eye opener effect with people in the islands, it was, I don't know, it was fun for me. It's weird kind of fun, but.
Man, I love it. That's a very powerful story. I love that. Yeah. EC Blind, what do you got for us? Something that you remember, something that stands out for you?
One of
Oh, looks like we lost our feed here for a second. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Start over, Blind. It looks like we lost you for a second. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember one ride. I was actually living in SoCal at the time, and we had one of our rides coming up here to Street Vibes up in Reno. And so the day we left, the weather said, I think it said like 75 or 80 degrees or something like that. So all of us left wearing hoodies because it wasn't that cold. That's all we needed. And on the ride up, the weather changed and dropped about 20 degrees and added rain on the ride home on Sunday. So none of us were prepared. We're all wearing like spring gear or whatever you want. And like I had a buddy hit me up and he's like, "Hey, can you get me?" Because we went to Street Vibes downtown. He's like, "Hey, can you give me a hoodie?" He's like, "I don't care what color, whatever, just give me a hoodie. I need to double up." And none of us were prepared for the ride home. We woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to leave, and it was raining. We climbed up, I think, 1,000 feet in elevation, and so we're riding through. There's snow everywhere. It's raining. We're all freezing. One of my buddies, Chino, just had regular small leather gloves. He's got his hand on the top of his rear motor head just to try and see if he can warm it up. And we all got to the first gas stop, went straight inside, and we're just trying to drink as much coffee as we could to warm up. And it's one of those rides where at the time it sucked, but when you look back, it's one of those funny moments. And then I definitely learned after that, I don't care what the weather says, I'm prepared for anything because it sucks riding in the rain and the extreme cold when you're not equipped with the right riding gear.
But Bernard,
Absolutely.
the best thing about that, they looked good.
Hey, well, I'll say this. We look really good. We always look good.
That was the longest miles ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing about the Pacific Savages, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about. I'll just briefly mention that our club likes to ride, and you have to be on your bike to be in the club, right? You can't not not want to ride your bike and become a Pacific Savage member. And I've put a lot of miles on my bike since I have started with the club, and just so many incredible memories and incredible rides. And yeah, freezing my ass off. I have quite a few of those already. But you know, one of our mantras, it's about the passion for the ride. I mean, we love to ride. The Pacific Savages and Kamaka, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this, but I feel like the Pacific Savages are some of the best riders, some of the best on two wheels. And you know, when you become a Pacific Savage, and this is somebody who's, you know, talking from a perspective of a new member, that, you know, you're kind of re-socialized to become a different kind of rider. So maybe you can speak to that, Kamaka.
As Pacific Islands, you know, I said earlier, we were voyagers. Now we just do it on two wheels.
That's right.
I mean, we do have a lot of good riders. We got a lot of loose cannons, you know, and I'm sure every club out there does.
Yep.
But you know, you join the club and you already know how to ride. You're still going to get trained, you know, riding in a pack, or just learn, you know, your surroundings. You know, so there is an education process. I don't care what your riding level is, and maybe you come in and we can learn from you. You know, but no, it's. I think it's all in just practice and the amount that we do ride, that people become very familiar and very comfortable with riding. So it may appear that they are a good rider. You know what I mean? Then we have those that I just take their keys from them and just never let them ride again next to me.
We'll push them to the island Savages. They can they could be on four wheels.
We'll put them on four wheels. Exactly.
We have our own standards, and for the most part, the amount of miles that you're gonna be putting in, you'll learn how to ride how we ride. eventually. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just one of those things you learn as you put in those put all those miles in.
Is it?
Yeah. The first time I rode with really rode with the Pacific Savages, I thought I was gonna die. I really did. I thought I wasn't gonna die. We were splitting lanes in SoCal, and I've told this story before. And I really, it was a wake up call. I was like, holy shit, this is a different kind of riding style. And I thought I was a really good rider, but I'm out in the San Joaquin Valley. There's just nothing but dairies and endless straightaways, right? And of course, the Pacific Savages started in the Bay Area, and riding up there is can be really, really dangerous. Maneuvering throughout traffic. Obviously, SoCal traffic can be really crazy. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for your guys' writing style. And you're right, Kamaka. Just riding with us, you're going to become a better rider. Absolutely. Yeah. So just 7 days away. Puna posted up here, 7 days away. SoCal Annual Pacific Sovereignty Run 2023, June 17th at 11 a.m. is the bike blessing. So TAC, we're not going to have any delays, right? This thing's getting off right on time.
As far as I understand, the current time. Yeah, right now it looks pretty good.
Okay, so we're getting a little bit of some audio issues there, but basically, I'm gonna let's see here. Oh, looks like we had some, we lost them, y'all. We had some audio issues, but yeah, TAC's going to get this event right on time. It's going to start again, 11 a.m. is the bike blessing, open to all riders. We're going to have a kava ceremony. If you know anything about Islanders and Native Americans, our events aren't just events. They're also there's a spiritual component, a ceremonial component to that, and you'll see that here at the Pacific Sovereignty Run. Again, it's open to the public. 12 p.m. is when really everything kicks off. Food, drinks, raffles, some amazing vendors. Again, the PSR SoCal coming up just in 7 days. It looks like we lost Kamaka, EC Blind, EC TAC, but that's all right. Much love and respect to the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. And I just have nothing but appreciation for this organization and for all the organizations out there, for Puna, for being one of the major organizers of the PSR. And all the vendors are going to come out, all the people who put a lot of hard work into this event. So with that being said, this is the 7th Generation Podcast. We're going to start our outro music. Again, this is Dr. B, a.k.a. Merciless. You can see if you're watching this here on YouTube, Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club, Mainland. I love it. Let's go, everybody. Got to come out June 17th, Buena Park, California, the Elks Lodge, 7212 Melrose Street, 12 noon. It's going to be a good time. Going to have a lot of fun. If you miss out, we'll have another one 2024. But don't miss out. Let's go. Let's do this. Again, the 7th Generation Podcast. Till next time, y'all. Peace. It's about the passion for the ride.